Hello, and welcome to another episode of The Cougar, the Bitch, and the Wardrobe. I'm your host, Lana Mazer, also known as Curated by the Cougar. And today I am joined here by my dear friend, Marissa Straza. She's the owner of Rebel Hair Studio in Nutley. And we're going to be getting into it a bit today on the art of transformation and how your hair and style has so much to do with that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I have a lot to share from my own personal experiences from our journey together. But before we get started, I would love for you to tell my audience a bit about yourself and your background and how you
Amazing.
got to where you are today.
Amazing. So I have been doing hair for a very long time. I went to school, beauty school in high school. So this was a very clear path for me. This is something that was very, just very clear. So we all knew this was where I was going. So I started very young and I realized I wanted to be a salon owner when I was about 19 years old. So ever since then, I kind of kept on collecting information and just observing and kind of paying attention to my bosses and how they dealt with things and things that I liked, things that I didn't like, to then open what I think is the best salon in the East Coast.
And I have to agree. I
Thank
have
you.
to agree.
That's always my goal, honestly, is to become the best on, I say, the Northeast, because I want to start with a smaller territory and then I'll expand.
Yes, I love that. And it is such an amazing business because it really is a combination of artistry and entrepreneurship.
I have always been an artist. I come from a family of artists,
Yes.
and that is like our foundation at Rebel is artistry.
Yes.
My team is super artistic, and I really try to foster that in our culture, which is really fun. But yeah, we opened in 2019, so it was right before the pandemic. So
Wow,
I'm
that's
super
quick.
proud.
Time
Yeah.
has flown.
Time
Wow.
has flown. It's been
Yes.
6 years. So
Yes.
so yeah, that's me.
Yes, and it's crazy for me to think about because we met when I pretty much just moved to Montclair. So that was in the late summer of 2017.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yes.
That tracks.
Yes.
Yeah, I was at Gumdrop then. We met there. That was awesome. I loved it there. That
Yes.
was so much fun.
It was a
But
great place.
yeah, and then, here we are.
And here we are.
However many years later, that
Yes.
is almost 10 years later.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I know. Tell me
That's
about it.
wild.
I'm only getting younger. So
Damn right.
yeah. So, all right, well, let's get into it a bit. So let's chat a bit about, which I think is really important and such a big part of this, is the intersection of identity and emotion. And so much of like our hair, if we're having a good hair day or a bad hair day, the style, the cut, there's such a profound connection between hair and personal identity. And I would love for you to, and I'm definitely going to speak on my own experiences with that, but I would love for you to share some insights on how your clients often view their hair as an extension of themselves and like the importance of when they get a new haircut, hairstyle, how it changes their own self perception.
Yeah, it is a huge thing. Everyone says like my hair is my identity, my hair is my safety blanket, things like that. And it
Mhm.
is so true. I think everyone can really relate to like kind of the look good, feel good mentality where if like your hair looks good, you really kind of feel put together and feel polished. If your hair looks like crap or you get a shitty haircut or your color's not fresh or whatever the case is, it really does bring your mood down. It bring everything about your aura, your energy, it kind of like lowers. So
Yes.
it also is an attachment to like self-identity. And I'll use myself as an example where like I have very much attached myself to this blue color. People can see me from a mile away, and I think now you can relate to that
Yes.
as well.
There's no
Because
mistaking me.
yeah,
now.
exactly. Like literally a mile away, you see that blue, and it's like that's Lana or that's
Yeah.
Marissa or whatever the case
Yes.
is. But it's become an identity, and I changed it a couple of years ago, and you probably didn't even see it because I immediately changed it back. I changed it to a purple, and I was like, I don't
Yeah.
feel like myself.
see
This
that.
is not because
Yeah.
I didn't show it.
You didn't show it. Yeah. Yes.
And it looked beautiful. That's the thing. It was gorgeous.
It's like a mermaid.
It was gorgeous.
Yeah.
And I
Mhm.
was like, I am not myself.
Yeah.
And even with a natural color on myself, I don't feel like myself. And my mom always says it. She's like, you were born with blue hair. I'm like, I know, Mom, I was. So it really is tied to your self-image, I
Yes.
think. And that's something that I help a lot of people create, which is so much fun for me to do.
Yes.
And I can really see that instant change in someone right from the beginning of the appointment to the end of the appointment. It's a really beautiful thing.
And do you find, I mean, I can assume in certain situations that it takes a little bit of convincing or pushing someone out of their comfort zone a little bit.
Absolutely.
And how do you get someone to go beyond that and to achieve that?
I like to start slow. I kind of nudge.
Mm-hmm.
And cuz I know it's hard, change is hard. And if I know something is going to look really stellar on someone and I just like have this vision and I can see it,
Yes.
and a lot of people don't always have that vision for that type of thing.
Mhm.
And it's something that I feel like is really beneficial for me because I can, view something before someone else can. And I can kind of
Yes.
like visualize their colors and their, shapes and things like that. So I kind of just introduce one thing at a time. So it's like,
Yes.
I think this haircut would be good on you. Or like, let's try bangs. Let's try a little shorter layers. Let's try, maybe let's grow it out. Like, I'm liking this length on you. I think it looks really good.
Yes.
So I'll kind of start to approach that. And then once they've kind of seen the benefit of those suggestions,
Yes.
I think they then have kind of full trust and let
Yes,
me
it's-
like really take the reins.
Yes.
And be like,
Yeah.
if you think that's going to look good, then let's do it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I approach it.
No, it's interesting because I think about my days when I was working in interior design,
Mhm.
and even in that where I was gently trying to nudge someone out of their comfort zone, because if you're going to work with an interior designer, you
Mhm.
work with a professional hairstylist. If you want to feel like you're getting your money's worth, then
Right.
let's
Let's
change
go.
things. Let's go. Let's go. And again, it's scary for people. Maybe a little bit scarier with hair because it's like you wear it on your head every day.
And it's your image.
And it's your
Your
image.
view of yourself.
It's your
Yeah,
image.
It's hard
It's
sometimes.
hard.
It's hard sometimes.
With interiors, obviously, it's not the same, but people are nervous, and
It's still something that you experience every day.
right, and you also like don't want to. People are always scared. What happens if I hate it and I spent all this money, and and I get it. It can be scary, but once you can gain someone's trust and you do
Mhm.
a little paint color here, a little little
Little
table there, a little vase there, yeah, then people start to feel more comfortable. And it's so interesting because again, I want to speak about my experience,
Mhm.
is that when I met Marissa, I had long hair and bangs.
I can't even like picture it anymore.
Yeah. Yes. And at that time, I was still doing the craziness of like, oh, I lived in New York City. And so I was going back into the city to the person who had cut my bangs. And she
Mhm.
was then the one who took me to like a bob.
Mhm. I remember that.
Yes. And so then I would come to see you, and it would be more just like a tweak and like a blowout and things like that. And then I guess it was maybe like 3 or 4 years ago, maybe 4 years ago now, that I'm like, okay, like
Mhm.
I'm ready for short.
Mhm.
And what's so crazy for me is that, of course, like we always want to do the opposite of what our parents tell us, because my mother had a haircut just like mine.
Mhm.
And she was telling me my entire life that I should have short hair. And because
She
she
knew.
told me that,
You were like, no.
I was like, no. And also, I was somewhat traumatized because as a child, she took me to get my hair cut, and then I looked like little orphan Annie, and it was
Mhm.
real bad.
Yeah. If you're not ready for it,
Yes.
you're just not ready for it.
No. And so
Yeah.
I was really nervous. And then once you cut it, and then we even made it like shorter, it eventually evolved more into like a
Mhm.
pixie. And then I really felt like I found my true identity and who I was meant to be.
It was a metamorphosis
Yes.
in a couple of hours, maybe not
Yes.
even in like an hour. It was like from beginning to end, you like found this newfound confidence. That was awesome.
Yes.
It
No, and
was
I have
awesome.
you to thank for that. And then I remember I came back maybe a few months later and you're like, okay, we got to step it up. And then that's when we made the hair blue.
Like, you're an artist, Lana.
And then that's also gone through different changes.
Yep.
But,
Mhm.
and so for me, now that it's been like this for so long, and now we're playing with it a little bit, obviously, because I like change. Well, now I do. And then so now I'm just like, oh, let's make it a little bit like grow it a little bit more to make it a little bit shaggier.
Mhm.
I realized how liberating I feel, or liberating it was to cut my
Mhm.
hair, and how much I spent of my life fighting my own hair.
Yeah.
We're all, we all want what we can't have, what we don't have, or whatever. But because I had curly hair, I wanted straight hair,
Yeah.
and I fought my hair for so long, and now I feel so great because it is a style. So I really like, I don't have to do anything to it. Like
Yeah.
it is like I wake up in the morning, I run my
Little
finger.
this,
Yes.
little of that.
Yeah. And it really does. I feel like it fully encapsulates who I am, who I think it started that real metamorphosis
Mhm.
into the cougar. And
That's right.
and I fully like embraced this
Yeah.
look. And so now like the eye makeup is blue.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's like a whole
The whole
it's,
shift.
it's a whole shift. It's a
Yeah.
whole vibe. And I love telling the story. And then because my sister will listen to this episode, and I've told you this, is that so my sister has long blonde hair, as you know, and her hair, like we would go to the beach, like when she turned 40, we went to Mexico together, and she would like get out of the pool and like her hair would dry like a gorgeous mermaid.
Mhm.
And this was when my hair was like chin length. And then I got out of the pool and it dried like a disgusting frizz-ball. And she would make fun of She made so much fun of me. And I mean, that's what sisters do. Yeah, we give each other a hard time. And now it's like, I never have a bad hair day.
That's
And
right.
I can go in the water and it dries like this.
That's right.
It could be raining outside. It could be a freaking windstorm. It doesn't matter. My hair always looks good. So there you go.
That is part of my approach. Is
Yes.
to make easy hair, truly, because I am so low maintenance with my hair, and even if someone is high maintenance, because you blew it out every single day.
Yes.
You
Yes.
styled it all the time, and you were really good about it. You're good at it also. But
Yes.
like, if you don't have to,
Yes.
isn't it so much better? So I'm a big advocate of going with your natural texture and working with it and developing something that fits,
Yeah, and I
your
think
style with
also like you said, like lifestyle and maybe also what
Yeah.
you enjoy doing. Because for me,
Mhm.
I will do a full face of makeup every day. I love doing my
Mhm.
eyes. I take pleasure in it. It's fun. I follow all the influencers with their
Mhm.
hacks and try this beauty product at the drugstore and this. I freaking love it.
Yeah.
And it took me a long time actually to get into that as well. But like hair, it was never my thing. And the idea of styling it
Every day.
stressed
Yeah.
me out. But for some people,
Some people love it.
they love it.
Yeah, some people love it. I
Yes.
love it.
Yeah. well-
But oddly enough, I hate getting my hair done. I absolutely hate sitting. I can't.
Yeah.
But I like doing my own hair.
Okay. Yeah.
It's like very meditative. It's,
And
I know.
I feel that same way like doing my own makeup, but
Yeah.
like hair, forget it.
Mhm.
Whereas my sister was always very good with like with the curls, with the flat iron,
Mhm.
with all this stuff. And that to me, like once the Dyson came out, with, like the hair wrap, I was like, finally, like
Yeah.
someone who understands that like I got
Yeah.
one hand that I'm gonna
Yes. Yeah.
be
I'm an advocate of those
Yes.
tools.
Yeah. But it is. So but it is. Hair, it was such a transformation for
Mhm.
me. It is transformative. And so I do encourage my listeners out there that if it's something that you are thinking about, to do it, because you know what? At the end of the day, it's hair and it grows.
Yes.
Yeah.
It will grow.
It will
We
grow.
will get past that phase.
Yes. Yes. So what about in a situation like if someone gets a cut or a style
Mhm.
that they're like, I don't like it? How do you handle that?
So it depends on a couple of different things.
Mhm.
Depends on if I did it or if someone else did it.
Okay.
If I did it and they just weren't into it and it was like this, my bangs are too short, or like, usually it's like it's too short. That's usually the issue. But if that's not the issue, then it's a very easy fix. Once it's too short, it's just too short and that's it. So I personally, for my clients, I'm like, well, we're putting extensions in then until we get to the length that you like. So that's my approach to that.
Yes.
But if someone else did it, then we are now going into a corrective haircut or style or color or whatever the case is.
Yes.
So it's really just like, what's the worst part of it? And I will let you know basically all of the phases it's going to go through and all of the stages that I need to be there for and
Yes.
everything that you need to do at home. And it's usually like, you know, within 3 months, it's usually gone.
Yes.
Whatever the thing is.
Yes.
In 3 months, it's usually gone.
Gone.
So that's kind of like, I try to give them the light at the end of the tunnel
Sure.
where it's like, this is what you have to look forward to. And then we'll be in a good place. But in the meantime, we're going to work together to make sure that it is passable. I'm going to teach you how to style it. I'm going to teach you like little tips and tricks on basically how to carry yourself out for those 3 months.
And is this something that, like, from personal experience, did you ever have that with someone in your career where, yeah, because I think we talked about it previously about that this sort of shaped how you
Yes,
work with
there
this going
is-
forward.
Yeah, there's one client in particular that I will absolutely never forget. I don't even know her name, but I will never forget this experience
Mhm.
because it changed me as a hairstylist and as just like a person in general.
Yes.
But I'll make this a quick story. But I was, I think, 16 or 17 years old. So I was like a baby.
Hmm.
And I was in the salon by myself. I worked there by myself a lot. And this woman came in. She was a walk-in with her 2 kids, and she's like, "I want my hair to here." I'm like, "You got it. I can do that." And her hair is probably like maybe a little shorter than mine when she came in.
Okay.
And I start cutting, and it's just silent. And I see this tear come down her cheek, and I'm like, "Oh,
Oh my
my!
God.
Like, is everything okay?" She's like, "It's too short." And then she starts bawling, and her kids are like, "Mom, what happened? What are you doing to my mom?" I'm like, "Oh my God."
Oh my God.
And I'm not done with this haircut,
Yeah.
mind you. And I'm like, "Okay, just like take a minute, maybe go to the bathroom or something." Like,
Yes.
but I gotta finish. And I was like, do you want me to finish? Like, I don't know what to do. I'm 16, like,
Yeah.
I'm brand new. I, did what she asked for.
Yes.
And what I learned from that experience is if someone's going through a big change, number one, go slow. Go very, very slow. And 9 times out of 10, I will say, even with people who have done big changes or had bangs before, whatever, if they point to a spot on their face, that's typically where they want it to sit, but not necessarily where they want the length to be. So it will, like, when it's blown out and styled, maybe it'll sit at the chin, but in reality, it's actually right over here.
So interesting. Okay. Yes.
So, like, I'm happy that happened to me at a young age because I approached literally every single client differently after that
Yeah.
moment. And
Oh my
that
God.
scarred me for
Like-
life.
like the tear, like in slow motion.
Literally. And
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
and it's just me and
Yeah.
this woman and her kids. And this
Yes.
was, I was 16 or 17. This was like 2007.
Yes. Yeah.
So it was like, I don't know. There weren't really like a lot of iPads and things. Like the kids were just there and they're
Yes.
watching me ruin their mom's hair. And it's like, looking back at it, like this woman was definitely going through something.
Yes.
And she, like, I didn't know that. I couldn't like see those cues. Now I look for those things in people. I look for their energy. I look for like, how they are even dressed. Like those things really tell a story about
Yes.
someone that like you don't always hear or see, and they don't always know how to even verbalize it. But like, you
Yes.
can kind of, especially if you've seen someone for a while, if you've seen a shit, if you came in like zero makeup, well, you do come in with no makeup sometimes, but if you came in where
Yeah.
you were just like a different vibe, it'd be like,
Yes.
something's going on. Like, what's happening here?
Right. And no, it's so, and it's interesting to hear you say that because there really is so much of what you do where you are an energy reader. You
Oh my God,
have
yeah.
to be sensitive to people's moods. I mean, you become their therapist in so many
In
ways.
so many
I know
ways.
you've been mine.
I've been everyone's therapist. I should have a license by now.
No, but it's true. 'Cause-
Yeah.
and what is that experience like for
Honestly,
you?
a lot of stylists don't like it, but I love it.
Yeah.
I love the human connection. I love people. People are so weird.
Yes.
And like, I just love it. I see
Yes.
so many different types of people.
Yes.
And, you know, some of my clients I've known since I was probably 18 years old.
Yes.
And they have literally seen me grow up. I've seen them and their kids grow up and go through phases and go through divorces
Yes.
and, you know, house evictions and job losses and job gains and like so many parts of life
Yes.
that I truly love it. I think it's amazing. I would say though, on the flip side of that, the hard part to that is losing a client that I've had for a long time. And that's kind of devastating in some ways.
Heartbreaking.
It is heartbreaking.
Yes.
And I've had a couple of clients pass, which is really
Oh,
rough. And it's like,
yeah.
I know some of these people more than I know my family
Yes.
because I see them sometimes every 6 weeks. And it's like, you know, they're coming to me sometimes with great news. Sometimes it's like, we have a client in the salon where she recently lost a baby. And it's like, we're all kind of like aware of the situation.
Yes.
And she's just so incredible. And we're all like, we're here for her. You know, like when she comes in, we're like,
Yeah.
let's give her the best fucking experience we can give her
Yes.
because like she deserves it.
She just yes.
And it's like we are their cheerleaders, and you know, we definitely get to hear a lot of crazy things.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Crazy,
those
crazy things.
relationships that I think that we have in our lives that sometimes we don't even think about how close we've become
Mhm.
with that person. You as their stylist, and then like for me as a client, and you really become enmeshed in each other's
Absolutely.
lives. And like you said, you see someone for years every 6 weeks. I mean, it's more
Consistently.
It's more
Yeah.
than people see their family.
It
It's
is
like,
more than
yeah.
I see my family in many
many ways,
of them.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I love that you said that you enjoy that aspect, and it
I love
definitely
it. I truly do.
is part of your personality.
Yeah, for sure. Because a
Um,
lot of stylists.
Yeah,
don't
but it
like
can
that.
but it can be exhausting and take its
Yes.
toll, because I always
Yeah.
find like with your work, it can be emotionally taxing
Mhm.
and physically taxing because you are on your
Yeah.
feet all day.
Yeah.
And you know, in a lot of people's worlds, they whatever they do professionally, there is a lot of downtime, meaning like they're not interfacing with someone.
Yeah.
They're sitting, but not
a
in your
lot of downtime.
not in
for
your line of
us.
work. So how do you find that how do you deal with that?
So, sometimes well, sometimes not well.
Yeah.
I recently started going to the gym. That's helped a lot in my physical, you know, like fatigue and things like that. I'm stronger. I
Great.
can, you know, stand on my feet better all day,
Yes.
things like that. I like fashion. I wear heels.
I know.
It's not the best. I do not wear orthopedic footwear. You won't catch me in it. I'm sorry.
No.
And so is my back. But, you know, it is what it is. But
But some footwear like is better than others because
Yeah.
like we like to
I
rock
wear boots.
a combat boot. We
Yes,
rock a combat
I wear
boot.
combat boots probably
Yes.
most often, and that's
Yes.
probably my most like
Mhm.
sensible shoe.
Yeah.
But I would say like mentally, like I come home and my husband loves to like summarize his day, which I love, and I think it's very sweet, and I love him very much. But I will just be like nonverbal for a good couple hours.
Yes.
And sometimes I'm just zoning out, and sometimes it's like, you don't have to listen to a word I'm saying, but I have to get this out. I'm like,
It's like go talk to the cat.
basically, yeah. So I do need a lot of time to just like
Yeah.
sit silent. Like, I don't listen to music in my car when I go home. Sometimes I'm just in my car for a
Just
while because I just need
silence.
silence. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I like recoup a good like hot shower at the end of the day. Yeah.
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 No, I find that for me too, there are times in combination with what I do professionally and then also managing my kids
Mm,
that I do just want quiet, like in my
silence.
car. I don't want to talk on the phone. Like some
Yeah.
people use like their driving time to like
Mm-hmm.
talk on the phone. I don't really want to do that.
I can't do it.
Yeah.
I
I don't
can't do it.
really want to do
And I
that.
will say it does affect my relationships outside of work too, because I don't have a lot more space for it.
Yes.
Like, I
Yes.
would love to go call my friend in Colorado, and
Yes.
I just don't have it in me. I just don't have it in me. So I'm like in like out of sight, out of mind kind of, which kind of sucks because it's like I do have friends all over the
All over.
country.
Yeah.
And I don't really get to see them often. But luckily, you know, we have that type of relationship where
Yes.
when we do see each other, we're right back where
And
we
that's the sign
started.
of
So
a real friendship. I
yes,
have that.
it is.
I have that too.
Yes,
and
it
then
is.
you know, that's the best feeling where you can just pick up where you left off. Like
Because they
there's-
understand.
They
Like,
understand.
my line of work is
Yeah.
rough in that way. Like, I don't
Yes.
have a lot of more room for that.
No.
Like, you know, social connection.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm tapped out.
And yet you've continued to really grow your business. I know that you've been doing a lot more for Fashion Week. I know that
Mhm.
you've done New York Fashion Week a few times now,
Mhm.
and then you also went to London,
Yes.
right?
Which was so much
Which
fun.
so could you talk a little bit about those experiences? Because I think that's just so cool.
Yeah, it is so cool, honestly.
Yeah.
I think that is something for me that really fuels my passion for hair. In my position now, which is something that I was not really expecting going
Mhm.
into being a salon owner, is that I don't have anyone pushing me and I don't have anyone
Interesting.
guiding me. I just didn't think
Mhm.
about it.
Yeah.
And it's like I need that inspiration. I need that. So I have to find that myself. So I going to Fashion Week and being around really high performing, high level hairstylists is the most inspiring thing for me. And I come back to the salon with such like fire and passion, and everyone like feeds off of it, and it's
Yes.
so incredible. So that's something for me that I feel like is such a necessity is to
Yes.
keep that spark alive and keep that inspiration and
Yes.
just like fueling that yeah, just that passion for what I do. It makes me love it again because
Yes.
it can very quickly turn into the mundane like grind.
Yes.
And that is not why I got into this business because I didn't want to do that. I never wanted to do that.
Right. And do you find that when you go for Fashion Week, does it give you more freedom to be more creative because you can no. Okay.
Well, okay.
Yes.
Yes and no.
Okay. Because is there some guidance as to okay.
There is a blueprint.
Oh, there is. Okay.
Yes.
Mhm.
But I will say the creativity sometimes comes in where designers will now know you. Again, speaking to the your hair being your identity.
Yes.
If I ever change my hair from being blue, no one's gonna know me at Fashion Week. I am the girl with the blue hair.
Yeah.
And it's like you see so many people during
Yes.
that time that
Mhm.
those associations are really important.
Yes.
So people do know me because of that. And if I ever were to change that, I would be a totally different person.
Yes.
So it's kind of become a signature, but which
Yes.
I'm it's not a bad thing for me.
Yes.
I love it. But it definitely is something where like the creativity lies in the people who now know you and trust you.
Yes.
If you don't have that, there is zero creativity. But you get challenged because you have never created something in front of you. Like you have this AI photo or a sketch from a designer where it's like, I want the hair to look like this.
Oh, wow.
And we just have to create it.
I had no idea.
Yes. So
Okay.
there's a lot of direction.
Yes.
But again, like once you start kind of networking and knowing some people, they're
Yes.
like, I've worked with you before. What do you think about this?
Yes.
Is this even possible? Because a lot of times they ask for things that are wildly impossible, especially thinking about like all the models, the different textures of hair, and, you know, just like gravity, and like, you know,
There's
like
only
things
so much a
like that.
product
Yeah,
can do.
exactly.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
those are like really the challenges and the fun parts where it's like now I have to figure out how I'm even gonna create this.
It's interesting because I thought maybe in that world, because it's fashion, maybe is it a little bit more um I just think like for the average person walking off the street going to get
Mhm.
their hair done, maybe it's more a traditional look versus at a fashion show it can be a little bit,
Editorial,
yes,
yes,
more
yes.
non-traditional.
I would probably never do what I do in Fashion Week in the salon.
Okay.
But I will say that's where trends stem from.
Right.
So we always talk about the dilution of the editorial look into the everyday look.
Yes.
And that's kind of what we bring back when we come back from Fashion Week to the salon. We kind of like debrief everyone and be like, this is a lot of the stuff we were seeing. These are the techniques we were doing. And, you know, we post a lot on social media about it. So everyone's kind of like keeping up, which is a lot of fun. Because
Yes.
I like people come in and they're like, you were just at Fashion Week. Like you were doing such cool stuff. And it's fun that like my clients are also invested in it too.
Yes.
Because I find it to be fun. And, you know, it's kind of just like fun for everyone. But we do dilute those trends and those techniques down to a approachable level. So we are using them still in
Right.
the salon.
And it reminds me also, like you're saying about what we see. I mean, years ago, there was no social media. And now I'm really going to date myself because I remember I was really young and my mother took me to get my hair cut and blown out.
Mhm.
And she said, I mean, she said to the stylist, and I think I might have been 6 years old. So it's crazy that I can remember this.
Yeah.
But she said to the stylist, I want her hair to look like Farrah Fawcett because there's that, you know, that famous photo of Farrah in the red swimsuit. Yes. And it's funny. And that was like, you know, that was the sign of the times. Like that was,
Yes.
you know, earmarked. That was the early 80s.
Yes.
And then I look back into I want to say my late high school, early college, and then it became the Rachel from Friends.
Mhm.
And that was like,
Yep.
I remember going to college and like
Everyone had the Rachel.
Everyone had the Rachel.
Yes.
And it's so interesting how that happened. And then just the trends of like, I remember maybe like once I graduated college, then it was all about having like stick straight hair.
I know there were a lot of rough
Rough years.
things happening.
Yeah, rough
there.
things happening. Yeah,
Yeah.
people were literally like poisoning themselves with the
yes,
like the
myself
smell,
included.
yes,
Yeah.
like the from the formaldehyde,
Yep.
right?
Yep. I do not offer that in my salon because it is still so toxic.
Is it still a thing? Are people still doing like it now? Because I mean, they called it different things over the years, and then
Different brands picked it up.
Yes.
And same
Yeah.
technology.
But it's like now, like is it still called like a keratin treatment?
Yes, it is still a
okay.
keratin treatment.
Mhm.
It's still around because I don't offer it in my salon. We don't really talk about it.
Yes.
And I think a lot of people know the dangers of it now.
Mhm.
And it can be really transformative. It can be really incredible for people, but not the amount of people that were getting it.
Right.
And
yes.
I also know that there's some changes in my body from those types of products, and I just don't want to shorten my life.
Yeah.
Or my clients, you know, I'm really
Yes.
particular about the products we bring in because of those things.
Yes.
And historically, like we always get screwed because we're with these things every day.
Yes.
And we work with them every single day. And I remember back when those things were really popular, I was doing them all the time because it was new, we didn't know. And everyone in the salon, like unanimously, would be like, I don't feel great today. And it was like, oh, we had 3 keratins today. We were just bombing the place with chemicals.
Yes.
So like those things started to kind of add up.
Mhm.
And like when we first did it and it first came out, they were like, it's safe for everyone. It's safe for pregnant women. It's safe for like immunocompromised people. And it's so not the case. And there were
Yes.
lawsuits upon lawsuits upon lawsuits. So it's like once a brand starts getting lawsuits, I'm really paying attention to what's in it and what like is happening. So
Mhm.
then we just kind of like, all right, I'm just not
Not gonna do
carrying that. Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. So
Can you speak a little bit to the process you go through to like select products and
Yes.
how you make those decisions?
Yeah.
Because there's so many products out there. So how
There
do
are.
you decide?
There are so many. I have basically what I call a rebel filter. And most things, if not all things that I do, go through this filter. And it's kind of like our core values, basically.
Mhm.
Eco-conscious is a big one. And is it good for people? Is it good for the planet? Is this company poisoning the earth or whatever? So I look at all of those things first. I basically take a tally on everyone's favorite products because I want my stylist to want to use what's in the salon. I want them to be inspired. I want them
Yes.
to enjoy what they're working with every day. So I kind of recently did this shift because I wanted more brands in the salon and
Mhm.
more variety. Because no one has one brand and not one brand does it all. So I wanted to kind of bring in multiple things. So I asked everyone's favorite things, and half of them I had no idea what they were. I've never used them. And I basically got a couple of things. Well, I first researched them and saw if they were eco-friendly or not.
Okay.
Took out everything that wasn't, which was a lot actually.
I'm sure.
And then I tested everything that was. And then we brought in a bunch of different products, and we were like, this one's shit, this one's great. And we basically just got all of the best things that we liked.
Mhm.
And we're still kind of in this process, actually. This is kind of like an ongoing thing. If something new comes out, which
There's
happens all the
always
time,
yes.
and it's fun because it keeps our stock new and it
Mhm.
keeps us inspired and us,
Yes.
like really having fun with the tools that we're working with.
Yes.
So I then see how it performs. There is one product line that I carry that breaks my eco-conscious rule. And it's because the performance is so high, and that is Orbe.
I remember you said that, and it
Yeah.
smells so good.
The fragrance is great, the performance is
Yeah.
great, and I only carry a select few of them. I
Mhm.
won't ever now, going forward, carry an entire line
Okay.
because it just, some of the stuff they have to put in to fill out the line and they suck.
Yeah. I mean, it's like anything in cosmetics,
Yeah.
everything.
It's
Yeah.
like we have to have a blush, but
Yes.
they don't care about the blush, they care about the foundation.
Yeah. So
So
true.
it's like, then screw the blush,
Yeah.
I want the foundation. So those are like the types of things that we're basically aiming for and making
Okay.
sure. So that's the only thing that breaks that rule.
Okay.
But everything else falls within my rule.
And I love also what you've done with your branding, just the name, the logo, just the whole energy of the space, the decor. You've now done a complete renovation
Yep.
of the space. Can you talk a little bit about how you came up with the name and
Yeah.
how that came to be?
Yeah. So the name actually was a journey. That was a big journey. It originally was going to be Rebel Sheep. And we created, no, it was originally going to be Black Sheep.
Hmm.
And the whole kind of like ideology behind it was that I have kind of always been a little bit of a black sheep in my family. I've always been very eccentric.
Hmm.
But at the same time, like, me and my family are all the same, which is funny. But I just have always been a little bit more extra.
Okay.
And every space that I've ever been in, I just am a little bit more extra than most people. And I feel like you can relate to this because I
Uh-huh.
feel like we're very similar in that way.
Yes, I understand what
Yeah,
you're saying.
exactly, exactly. And I've always been a little bit of a rule breaker, and I am a big fan of learning the rules to know how to break them. And if I think there's a rule that A, has no purpose and is just like dumb, I just won't follow it.
I love that.
So I'm like,
Yeah.
why is this
Yes.
a rule?
Yeah.
There's no reason for it. There's no point. I'm just not gonna, whatever.
Yeah.
So that's always been kind of like my ideology. And it's like a big one for me was like in school having a dress code. I'm like, excuse me.
know.
Like, you can't tell me what to wear.
Yeah.
So that was a big one for me. And I think that's kind of where all that stemmed from. And then
Yes.
just in life, that's just been my journey.
Your journey. Yes.
Yeah. And it all actually, I like was reflecting on it as I became a salon owner, because I was like, wow, I was a really difficult employee because of all of the
All
pushback
the
that I
pushback.
gave, because
Yes.
I'm like, this is stupid. Why do we need to do this thing?
Yes.
There's no reason for it. It doesn't benefit anyone. It doesn't, whatever. So it was all really like, if it really matters, I'm absolutely for it.
Yes.
And that's always been my mentality through my salon too, where it's like, I want a space that makes sense. I want a space that benefits the stylist and the client
Yes.
equally. And I want a space that people can be creative and people can really push boundaries. And you don't have to do the average whatever if you don't want to, but you can if you want to.
Yes.
You don't have to dress in all black. You don't have to fit this hairstylist mold.
Yes.
Because you can be your own unique person. So that's always been my mentality. So that's kind of like where the ideology came from. And my mom was a huge help in creating my brand name.
Oh, I love that.
And my sister actually created my logo.
Oh.
So my family was a huge part of the creation of honestly everything in my life. But we landed on Rebel because my mom said Black Sheep. She's like, that could not come off right. And she's a marketer by trade. So I trust her opinion.
Yes.
So then I'm like, what about Rebel Sheep? She created a whole logo. It was really cute. And my space being right next to a daycare made that logo look very kiddish. So I'm like, this is not,
Yeah.
this is just isn't good. I'm like, what if we just like nix the sheep and now we're just Rebel? And so it was a journey. And my mom always calls it like my baby because I think she said I was her hardest client.
I'm sure. We always are for her own family.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, but it's just not right yet.
not
It just
right.
wasn't right
Yeah.
yet. So
Yeah.
and even creating the logo was a whole journey. And my sister ended up drawing it out. And I'm like, yeah, that's it. So
It's amazing, and I also love the community that you've built at your salon with the other stylists, and just I feel that energy when I'm there, which is so nice that you
I
can
love
tell
that.
that everybody wants to be there, that they love what they do, they take so much pride in
Mhm.
their work, and you've also committed a lot of time to the education
Yes.
portion as
A
well.
lot.
So can you talk a little bit about that? And
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
I pride myself in my education program. We have at this point 4 homegrown stylists who are very successful, very knowledgeable, and really creative. And I absolutely love that about my space and my program. So I have myself, my salon manager, and another one of my stylists are the educators for our program. And we go through literally everything you could imagine when it comes to being a hairstylist, including like bedside manner and what to do when you are overwhelmed with all of those therapy appointments and things like that, and how to approach uncomfortable conversations and how to guide someone into a really creative situation or whatever. So like
Yes.
all of those soft skills we really pay a lot of attention to.
Hmm.
And I feel like that's a huge thing that's lacking in the industry for education. And nobody teaches you that in school. And school, really, you don't get to learn a lot either. It's really like just to pass your state board and get your
Yes.
license. So we always say, like, we teach you what you thought you would learn in beauty school. And that's actually how to do hair and how to be with your clients and how to be a successful stylist who creates meaningful relationships, basically.
Yes.
And now last year I kind of stepped away a little bit and let my team take over the education, which has
Okay.
been great. And this year I'm kind of stepping back in
Okay.
and going a little bit more into just kind of like the one-on-one daily stuff, which has been really fun.
Mhm.
And really I'm seeing a lot of like light bulb moments on a daily basis and seeing a lot of like inspiration, and it kind of just like it really changes the energy in the room, and it's a really like awesome thing.
I love that. And I've also noticed with the stylists, does everybody not only cut hair, but they also do color as well?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think I have not seen that everywhere.
A lot of people compartmentalize is
Yes.
what they call it. And
Right.
I think to be a well-rounded stylist, you really do need to know both
Mm-hmm.
because a haircut affects color and color affects a haircut.
That's, I mean, without, you said obviously much better than I was. But in my mind, like, that's what
Yes.
I always thought. And
Yes.
I
you
remember.
have to know both.
Yes,
Yeah.
you have to know both because depending on how your highlights fall or your balayage or whatever,
Your cut.
Your cut.
You could go get a hair color and immediately chop everything you did off.
I know. Yeah.
And that would be devastating.
It's devastating. So it's funny. So for my listeners, my 10-year-old son was inspired by my blue hair. Yeah. And so now I take him twice a year to Marissa's salon and he gets his blue hair done.
He loves it.
He loves it. And I love it too because people stop us everywhere and they're like, you're so good. You guys
It's
are
the
so
cutest
cute.
thing ever.
You know, and I was like, it's genetic. It's a genetic trait. I'm like, that's my mom joke. But now he's like, he, you know, his hair is short and it's getting like really fluffy in the front and he will not cut it because he was like, the blue, I don't want the blue to get cut out.
Exactly. Yeah. So they do very much affect
Yes,
each other.
totally.
So
yes.
I will have some stylists who want to specialize,
Mhm.
and that's great. You can totally specialize, but you have to know the basics of everything.
Yes.
That is the really important thing that I really strive to like push everyone to do.
Yes.
And it's like some people are really into cutting, some people are really into color.
Mhm.
And through our education, a lot of them realized that they really enjoyed the thing that they thought they didn't because the education just was poor. So that helps a lot too when
Yes.
you get that inspiration.
I mean, I feel like in so many industries, unfortunately, what's most important is that human connection.
Yes.
And it's not really the emphasis of teaching people in the industry
Mhm.
how to speak to someone.
Especially now.
Now.
All of my my team is young. I am like the oldest person there, which is I'm not old.
No, she is not.
So everyone's very, very young. And them growing up in the age of social media
Yes.
and even just throughout the pandemic, that changed a lot of people's
Yes.
way of interacting with each other. And
Absolutely.
that I literally had to say, this was a couple months ago probably, you have to talk to people.
Yeah.
You have to talk to people
You have
because
to
they're
talk-
like, I can't find models, I can't do this, I can't do that. I'm like, okay, so how are you approaching this? What's your process?
Yeah.
And it's all through social media. I'm like, okay. Go up to someone and shop right.
Yeah.
Talk to someone, compliment their hair, give them an offer. Can I do a free haircut on you? You know, like though you have to talk
People
to
would
people.
love that, I would think. Yes.
They do.
Yes.
They
Yeah.
do. And a lot of the things that I teach aren't always popular, so it's hard to find a model for those specific things. And the thing that we were going through then was like an A-line bob, which like it's not super, super trendy.
Mhm.
Shag things and, you know, Bixies and Pixies are really trendy,
Mhm.
and the A-line bob is not. Still got to know it,
Yeah.
because guess what? In 5 to 10 years, when you're still doing hair, it will be a trend.
It will be a trend.
I have been in the industry long enough for it to cycle back.
It all cycles.
I started with
back.
the Rachel, and we're back.
We're back.
It it came back probably like 2-3 years ago, and then it's kind of like phased out a little bit, but
Yeah.
that came back. Farrah Fawcett came back.
It's so true.
It will come back. So
in
you
a
have to know.
different like iteration.
Yes.
But like yes.
And I'm happy you said that because that's my whole like I guess bargaining chip for them where
Yes.
it's like it's not necessarily about the cut itself, it's about the technique you use for the cut because those techniques can be implemented for so many other different looks.
Yes.
And it's like knowing the technique is that's the tool. It's not about the
Absolutely.
haircut, it's about what you're doing to achieve it.
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah.
I think also what would be interesting for people to hear, and I love asking when I have different professionals come on the podcast, is if there are like, I mean, I'm sure there's so many, but if there are like 3 things that you can advise our listeners today on something that they can do for better hair care, you know, or a better way of communicating to their stylist what they want, what they desire, just so that people have. I love giving people those
little
takeaways.
nuggets. Yeah,
Yes.
and you're right, there are so many.
So many.
But I would say the most important thing to take care of your hair is to use heat protection if you are using a hot tool. Heat is the biggest killer of hair. And don't go to bed with your head wet.
Okay.
That's one that a lot of people don't know. Because it can get soggy and actually moldy.
Ugh.
Nobody wants a moldy head.
No one does not.
It's a very like distinct smell, and if someone's blow drying someone's hair, I can smell it across the room. Like they go to bed with their hair wet. I can tell.
Oh my.
Your stylist knows what you do.
Oh my.
They know. But heat protection, that's the biggest. Always use heat protection when you're heat styling. If you don't heat style, it doesn't really matter.
Yes.
Another tip, I would say to communicate with your stylist better. We are creatives, so we're very visual people. So it can be sometimes hard to communicate when you're just like, I want this thing. Like verbally, sometimes it's hard to communicate. So photos are great. Photos are really good for, even if you drew it yourself, like just giving a visual to express what you like, even what you don't like. And having a couple of different visuals, that's a really great way to communicate your vision. Because sometimes it's hard to know.
Sure.
And sometimes you can't find a photo. And like you want something that's either really creative. So like you can piecemeal things together where it's like, I like this part of this photo. I like this part of this photo. Don't like that.
Yes. Even
so
knowing what you don't like
is really important because
really
then
important.
we won't do it.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's a really good tip. And I would say another one in terms of communication, if your stylist isn't giving you a consultation, that's a big red flag because you don't know. How would they know what you want if you didn't speak about it?
Right.
So that's something I hear a lot when I get new clients is that they didn't really get the same type of communication. So what you can do is you can ask the questions. If you really like your stylist and you like what they do, then you ask all the questions and tell them all the things.
Yes.
And don't let them start until you've gotten everything you want to say out.
I love that. I think that's really helpful. And also, I feel so inspired by your story and how you felt this love and passion for hair, and knowing that you embodied this artistry and that you really followed your calling from such a young age, and you have put in the time and you continue to do so, and I think that's amazing, and that you now have this beautiful amazing salon. And I would just love for you to tell our listeners today, if you can advise them if they have a passion or a dream, like what would you tell the younger Marissa?
Yeah, I would say, you know what's funny? I actually made this the other day. It says, don't settle.
Oh, I love that.
That's what I would tell her. Don't settle. Because I settled on a lot of things and it's taught me a lot though. But I would say if you really have this passion in you, and it's an unmistakable feeling, like it's something that you can't live without, that you can't be without, just go for it no matter what anyone tells you. Because I remember I called my family and I'm like, I'm going to own a salon when I was 19. And all of them were like, what the fuck? And I was so mad because I'm like, you guys don't believe in me. And in the moment, like, I understand where they were coming from because I'm 19. I have no money. They're like, what are you doing?
Yes.
And for me, it was like, it was this light bulb moment where I'm like, that's what I'm working towards. Not necessarily that's what I'm going to do right now, but I think that's how they took it. But it fueled me in a way where I'm like, I'm going to show you. I'm going to do it.
I love
that. That's how I operate in my life, apparently.
I love that.
Yeah, don't give up. Don't settle. If it's not right, if something isn't going the way you want it to, then change it. You have the power. You can literally do anything. My mentality is if someone has done it, I can absolutely do it.
I love that.
I can do it. And so can you.
Yeah, I love that. That's just so well said.
Thank you.
And I'm so happy that you spent time with me today chatting.
I'm honored to be on your podcast. Thank you for inviting
Of
me.
course. And
Always fun being
of
with you.
course. And to my listeners, I will tag Marissa and her salon. Again, it's Rebel Hair Salon in Nutley, New Jersey. And if you are following the podcast, thank you. If you are not, please follow and like and share, because that really, really helps the podcast grow. And if you hear something that you like and you're like, you know what, my friend, my sister, my mom, my this would really get something out of this episode, please share it and ask them to follow along. And again, if you have any comments or suggestions, I'm always open to anything and everything. You can reach me on Instagram at Curated by the Cougar, on TikTok at Curated by the Cougar, and again on Spotify, The Cougar, The Bitch, and The Wardrobe. And until next time.